You just walked Dead by Daylight. You're having a great time playing Survivor by yourself or with your group of friends, and you're like, I want to go play some Killer. You click on the Killer. Also, how do these work? You click onto one of them, you click onto the loadout, you click the power. That's a lot of text. And it doesn't really answer a lot of questions. Don't worry, because today I'm going to teach you guys some tips and tricks on Dead by Daylight killers. Hi, I'm Willow, I'm a Dead by Daylight content creator, and please sit down, grab some snacks and some waters, because we're about to head into this class session. So, please do enjoy the video, and also make some notes, because you know, note-taking's pretty important unless you're like me and you have a fucking notebook for a mind. Either way, let's get started with the first killer. The Trapper, or Evan McMillan, was the first killer of Dead by Daylight, along with two others that came in when the game launched back in June of 2016. Even though his design is rather basic, with the overalls and the broken mask covering his face, he still can be seen in many games as of recent, minus the fact that the Jason chapter was released today, at the time that I was writing the script. The Trapper comes into the trials wielding a giant cleaver-shaped object that he uses to strike down survivors, but he also comes with a power-up his sleeveless arms. All around the trial, and also on the Trapper himself, he will have traps. These bear traps can be set, reset, and used in order to catch survivors off guard, in order to get a quick down or to punish survivors who don't look where they walk. This, however, causes the Trapper to spend a lot of the early game setting up the traps, which, in the current way that the game is, means that the generators will already be powered before he can get a single hook. So, you may be wondering, what is the solution to all this? Well, that's simple. Strategic placement. Many times, trappers will trap pallets and windows in order to catch survivors off guard, or to get them stuck in the middle of a chase, which it's good on its own, but can easily be broken by a survivor disarming the traps. So what else can the trapper do? On many of the maps, there are bushes and pieces of grass that can easily obscure the traps. So what I give to you is this knowledge. Trap random patches of grass and bushes around the middle areas of the map, especially around the large main building and killer shack, as those will have the largest amount of foot traffic. Also, trap places near generators. The current meta of today is to pre-run whenever the killer gets close. So, if you manage to place a trap into one of these bushes or grassy patches, you may be able to catch out a survivor who is leaving, giving you an easy down. Now, of course, there are quite a lot of add-ons that come with many of the killers, and I would love to go through all of them so then you would all be able to understand them better. But we have a lot of other killers to get through. So I'll give you some add-ons for the power that can really help you out in the games. Firstly, we got the brown makeshift wrap add-on, which means that if you walk into your traps, you won't get caught in them, with the disadvantage that they get automatically disarmed instead. This pairs well with the blue secondary coil, which increases the disarm time for traps by 50%. The blue tripper bag increases the amount of traps that you can carry by 1. And the blue fastening tools. This increases the rescue and escape time from the bear traps by 25%, and also increases the setting speed by 50%. The makeshift wrap with any of these blue add-ons will make the game easier for you, as they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Additionally, you can also combine green coffee grounds. This increases the haste effect after setting a trap by 5%, with the purple tension string. Automatically resets the trap 2 seconds after a survivor escapes from it, and can be mixed in with the other add-ons mentioned. To recap this really quickly for you all, my basic TLDR for this killer. Trapper is most effective when you place some traps at windows and pallets to catch survivors off guard, and others in grassy patches or bushes, mainly around killer shack or main building, in order to catch survivors off guard. You can also set some traps near generators to do the same. Good add-ons to use with Trapper is makeshift wrap with a secondary coil, trapper bag, and fastening tools, but coffee grounds and tension spring also work, especially with tension spring traps under exit gates, since the trap resets every 2 seconds. Alright. Now that we're all done with the Trapper, we can get on to the next killer, this being the Wraith. The Wraith, also known as Philip Augemort, is a killer that came into the base game when it launched back in 2016. The Wraith comes prepared in the trials with a weapon made from a human skull and spine, that is titled Azeroth's Skull, who was the boss of Philip before Philip found out what he was doing and decided to kill him. The Wraith also comes with a large bell. This is his power, dubbed as the Wailing Bell. At the start of the trials, the Wraith begins invisible, dubbed as his cloaked state. This makes him undetectable and invisible to the survivors with the removed ability of being able to attack or interact with the survivors. At the player's choice, they can choose to uncloak, sending out the toll of the bell and removing the invisibility status and the undetectable status. But now meaning that the Wraith can attack survivors and will boost his movement by 150% for a single second. The best way to use the Wraith's power is to stay in the cloaked form until you can see a survivor, then uncloak nearby and chase them down. The cloaked state can also be used to block windows and pallets, meaning survivors cannot use them. You can also continuously use your cloak ability for 3 seconds before releasing the ability button in order to remove your red stain and disorient the survivor on your location.
Hello, Editor Willow here. I forgot to do the add-on voiceover. So this is the audio from a video recording that I have to do because my Move video editor doesn't like to record my audio. But yeah, add-ons that work best for Wraith. The green bone clapper mixing with the ghost soot, that is a brown rarity. These two, with the green bone clapper hiding your range of bell to be heard everywhere, and the ghost soot hiding your terror radius and your red stain, can make it so then you can be able to jump scare survivors. Other stuff also include the green swift hunt mud and windstorm mud, and the blue shadow dance white. Most of the time, recommended items are those that increase haste whilst you're cloaked or hasten your cloaking speed, because those can be able to allow you to quickly get in and out, and also helps with the tech where you can help have yourself vanish from the eye of the survivors whilst in chase. Which works really well at low walls. So yeah, that's it to me. Back to the video.
Now, with the Wraith down, it is time to go to the hillbilly. For this killer, I'll have my good friend Tommy explain him for you.
Hello, it is my turn. Hillbilly, also known as the Boy, or Max Thompson Jr., is one of the most simpler killers that came out around the time that Dead by Daylight released, completing the original trio upon the game's release back all the way in 2016. Whereas Trapper would have to spend time setting up traps and slowly applying his pressure, or Wraith, with his bing bong bell and being able to skulk around the map, the Hillbilly can apply pressure onto the game from the get-go, with his very large cowl hammer and his chainsaw. With it, he's able to zoom around the map and start pressuring survivors out right the gate. However, there is a small little downside to Hillbilly, and that is the map. He is extremely map dependent, like other killers of the game, mainly because of his chainsaw ability. He works the best on maps that can train long stretches of open area. These maps could include Cold Wind Farm, Milk Escape, and both of the Ormond maps. Other maps such as Nostromo, Yamoka Estate, Eyrie of Crows, Greenville Square, Shelter Woods, Red Forest, and the Garden of Joy are fine for him, but expect not to be able to do as much as you wish you could. Maps that are just terrible for him, though, are indoor ones. Hawkins, Gideon Meat Plant, and ones that are a bit of a mixture, like Raccoon City, Leary's Memorial, Midwich, and Turbo Landing. But everyone hates Turbo Landing, no matter who you are, as a survivor or killer. In terms of ability, it can be a bit of a mixture sometimes. His chainsaw allows full map traversal and can also be stopped when you arrive at destination or until you bonk your head on something. But you can do a lovely little technique called feathering, where you keep the power right in the middle between revving up and letting go of your rev to keep it going for as long as you want. It's not always good to keep it going forever, but it can be very good in the right situations. But in the actually worst case scenario where the map is just map is just not going great, you can just simply use your hammer to get people down. Just M1ing is sometimes the best you can do. It might take a lot longer, but compared to the alternative of being frustrated with your power, it still allows you to play and get downs, even if it does take a little bit longer. If you look around while revving up your chainsaw, it can cause you to, unfortunately, turn sharply and uncontrollably. They put in a special little window right when the chainsaw power activates, which allows you to do a very sharp turn. And if you don't know about it beforehand, you can just end up flying face first into a wall that's like right next to your head. And there is another part of the chainsaw power called overdrive. It's more of a thing you kind of don't really realize it's there until it actually activates, but your chainsaw will get covered in a blue glow. And that will be explained in a completely other video another time down the road. So that'll be a Willow thing and not a me thing, maybe. if you're a new player, many people, including myself, usually will try and point you towards something like the Dad's Boots, which are a rare blue item, or the Spiked Boots, which are a purple, very rare item. Whenever you first go into, well, usually once a week, the shop will give you a free 250,000 blood points. So if you spend all of that on Hillbilly, you're more than likely to at least get one of them, probably the Dad's Boots. But you never know. You could get the Spike Boots. And it's a very good add-on to start off with because it gives you a very nice 20 to 30%, depending on which one you have, turn rate when you're sprinting, which can help you out amazingly in terms of chasing people around the map and other things. But there are some interesting duo add-ons you can do, such as the Sneaky build, which is Filthy Slippers and the Apex Muffler. Filthy Slippers, after about 2-ish seconds, will make you undetectable to everyone around you. And the Apex Muffler is a little handy thing where no one can hear your chainsaw outside his terror radius. So you put them together, no one can hear you until you're literally right on top of them. Which also, depending on the map, could also end up with you quite literally on top of them. You might need to make the experiment with perks and stuff to see what exactly works best with the add-ons, but it's not too bad. Even this base stuff can be quite nice in the right circumstances. Other add-ons you can equip. Yeah, the Thompson's Mix reduces the recovery time after using a chainsaw by 10% while not in overdrive. Interesting little bit of fine print. But you could also, I personally like to run Dad's Boots with Iridescent Engravings, which is a nice little combo. A little bit of extra turn speed mixed with increased movement speed. Means you can, if it's an open map like Cold Wind, you can just zip across the entire map and try and get people who are trying to hide rocks or, like a tractor or something. You do have a little bit more of a charge time when you have the iridescent engravings, but I'd say it's well worth it for the speed and turn rate you get in exchange for doing it. I do still enjoy playing Hillbilly, despite him being a bit map dependent and having the strange movements at the start of the turn rates that kind of screw me over. But I still like him anyway.
Hi there, Editor Willow here again. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you did enjoy. I know that's a little bit shorter than you would like it to, and there's a lot more other beginner killers that I would absolutely love to go through. But for right now, I can't really do that with the current timing that I have. Since I have to upload this stuff weekly, I have to make sure that I can be able to get this all out to you all. So this is a bit of a chop slap piece, but I really do hope that you do enjoy this video, and also that the information given in this video by me and my special guest Tommy was helpful enough that you could be able to learn a little bit more and be able to hopefully get better at the games. Again, playing Dead by Daylight is entirely based off of learning. You always learn in the fog. So my only last thing to say to you as Editor Willow is stay safe in the fog, my friends, and have a good rest of the day. I bid you adieu.